Right now, at this very moment, the universe is conspiring in your favor. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, every thought that crosses your mind is happening exactly when it needs to happen. There is no accident in your being here today. There is no coincidence in the challenges you've faced or the victories you've celebrated. Everything, and I mean everything, is unfolding according to a perfect timing that your rational mind cannot fully comprehend, but your soul knows intimately. You see, we live in a world obsessed with forcing outcomes. We push and shove and struggle against the natural flow of life, believing that our limited human perspective knows better than the infinite wisdom that governs all creation. We set deadlines for our dreams. We demand that love arrive on our schedule. We insist that opportunities knock when we think they should. And when things don't happen according to our timeline, we convince ourselves that we've failed, that life is unfair, that we're somehow being punished. But what if I told you that every delay in your life has been a divine appointment? What if every closed door was actually protecting you from something that wasn't meant for you? What if every heartbreak, every setback, every moment when you felt like giving up was actually the universe preparing you for something far greater than you could have asked for or conceived? The truth is, you are not behind in life. You are not late. You are not missing out. You are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, becoming exactly who you need to become. The person who gets the promotion you thought you deserved might need that experience more than you do right now. The relationship that ended might have been clearing the path for a love so profound it will take your breath away. The business that failed might have been teaching you lessons that will make your next venture unstoppable. Divine timing operates on a level of intelligence that far exceeds human planning. While you're worried about being 30 and not married, the universe might be orchestrating events so that you meet your soulmate at 32, when you've grown into the person who can truly appreciate and nurture that relationship. While you're frustrated about not having your dream job at 25, life might be weaving experiences that will give you the wisdom and skills to not just get that job, but to revolutionize the entire industry. Think about the oak tree. It doesn't struggle to grow faster. It doesn't compare itself to the bamboo that shoots up quickly but has shallow roots. The oak tree grows slowly, steadily, building strength in its trunk, extending its roots far and wide, because it knows that when the storms come, it needs to be prepared to stand for hundreds of years. You are like that oak tree. Every year of growth, every season of apparent dormancy, every ring of experience is making you stronger, wiser, more resilient. But here's what most people miss about divine timing. It's not passive. It's not about sitting back and waiting for life to happen to you. Divine timing is about aligning yourself with the flow of life while still taking inspired action. It's about planting seeds without obsessing over when they'll bloom. It's about preparing yourself for your blessings while trusting that they're already on their way. When you truly understand divine timing, you stop living in the anxiety of when and start living in the power of now. You stop asking, why isn't it happening? And start asking, what is this moment teaching me? You stop begging for your life to begin and start recognizing that your life is already magnificent, already complete, already perfect in its apparent imperfection. Every person you've met has appeared in your life at exactly the right moment. The teacher who inspired you, the friend who betrayed you, the stranger who showed you kindness when you needed it most. They were all part of your divine curriculum. Even the people who hurt you, who disappointed you, who let you down, they too were serving your highest good by showing you what you don't want, by teaching you to rely on your own inner strength, by forcing you to develop boundaries and self-respect. The job you didn't get led you to the job that changed your life. The person who rejected you made space for the person who cherishes you. The opportunity you missed created room for an opportunity you couldn't have handled at the time, but are perfectly prepared for now. This is not wishful thinking or spiritual bypassing. This is the fundamental truth of how life works when you stop resisting and start trusting. But trust, real trust, is not easy for most of us. We've been conditioned to believe that we must control everything, plan everything, force everything. We've been taught that if we're not constantly pushing, nothing will happen. We've internalized the lie that our worth is measured by our achievements, and our achievements must happen on schedule. Let me tell you something that might shock you. The universe doesn't care about your timeline. It cares about your transformation. It doesn't care about your deadlines. It cares about your character development. It doesn't care about your plans. It cares about your purpose. And sometimes, oftentimes, fulfilling your purpose requires you to let go of your plans. When you surrender to divine timing, you don't become passive. You become powerful in a completely different way. Instead of using your energy to force outcomes, you use your energy to become the person who naturally attracts those outcomes. Instead of chasing opportunities, you become the kind of person that opportunities chase. Instead of demanding that love find you, you become so loving, so whole, so complete within yourself that love cannot help but be drawn to you. This is the great paradox. The more you release your grip on how and when things should happen, the more they happen in ways that exceed your expectations. When you stop trying to micromanage the universe can actually deliver the miracles it has been trying to give you all along. Right now, even as you listen to these words, things are being arranged on your behalf. Phone calls are being made by people you haven't met yet. Decisions are being made in boardrooms where your name isn't even known that will impact your life in beautiful ways. Chance encounters are being orchestrated. Circumstances are being aligned. Resources are being mobilized, all because the universe is working tirelessly to bring you exactly what you need at exactly the right time. But you have to do your part. You have to show up fully to this moment. You have to stop living in the past, rehearsing your failures and replaying your disappointments. You have to stop living in the future, anxiously awaiting your breakthrough while missing the gifts of today. You have to be here now, open and receptive to the guidance that is always available to you. The signs are everywhere if you know how to look. That book that falls off the shelf and opens to exactly the page you need to read. That conversation you overhear that contains the answer to your question. That person who suddenly comes to mind, and when you call them, they have exactly what you need. That opportunity that seems to come out of nowhere but fits perfectly with your skills and desires. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations that you are in alignment with divine timing. When you miss these signs, when you ignore these nudges, when you dismiss these synchronicities as mere chance, you create resistance in your life. You slow down the flow of blessings that are trying to reach you. You make things harder than they need to be because you're not cooperating with the intelligence that is orchestrating everything. But here's the beautiful truth. Even when you resist, even when you miss the signs, even when you take detours and make mistakes, divine timing adjusts. It recalibrates. It finds new ways to reach you. It never gives up on you because you are part of the grand design. You are not separate from the intelligence that creates galaxies and seasons and the perfect timing of everything in nature. Look at your own life. Think about the times when something you desperately wanted didn't happen, and later you were grateful it didn't. Think about the delays that led to better outcomes. Think about the detours that introduced you to people or experiences that changed your life for the better. Think about the times when what seemed like the worst thing became the best thing. That relationship that ended just before you met the love of your life. That job you lost right before you started your own business. That illness that forced you to slow down and reevaluate what really matters. That financial setback that taught you to be resourceful and appreciate simple pleasures. These weren't punishments. These were course corrections, divine redirections, perfectly timed events that were steering you toward your highest good. The challenge is learning to trust in the moment when everything looks wrong, when the bills are due and the money isn't there, when the diagnosis is scary and the future looks uncertain, when the relationship is struggling and communication is broken down, when the dreams you've held for years seem further away than ever. These are the moments when faith in divine timing is most difficult and most necessary. In these dark nights of the soul, remember that seeds germinate in darkness. Remember that the deepest roots grow during the harshest winters. Remember that pressure creates diamonds and storms create strength. What looks like an ending might be a beginning. What feels like failure might be preparation. What seems like a setback might be a setup for something extraordinary. The people who understand divine timing deeply are the ones who have learned to find peace in uncertainty. They don't need to know how everything is going to work out because they trust that it will work out. They don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. They don't need guarantees because they have something more powerful than certainty. They have faith in the intelligence that animates all life. This faith is not blind belief. It's experiential knowing. It comes from paying attention to the patterns in your own life. It comes from noticing how things have always worked out, even when they didn't work out the way you planned. It comes from recognizing that you have been guided and protected and provided for your entire life, even when you couldn't see it at the time. You were born with everything you need to fulfill your purpose, the talents, the interests, the personality, the experiences, even the challenges and obstacles. They're all part of your divine equipment. Nothing was left out. Nothing was overlooked. You are not missing any essential piece of your puzzle. What you're waiting for is already within you, waiting to be activated at the perfect time. But activation requires readiness, and readiness cannot be rushed. You cannot harvest fruit from a tree that hasn't finished growing. You cannot withdraw money from an account before you've made the deposit. You cannot receive what you're not prepared to handle. Divine timing ensures that by the time your blessings arrive, you have the maturity, wisdom, and capacity to receive them fully and use them wisely. This is why comparing your timeline to others is not only pointless but harmful. The person who got married at 23 and had children immediately might be living their perfect timeline, but it doesn't mean you're behind if you're 33 and still single. The entrepreneur who became successful at 25 might have needed those early years to build their empire, but it doesn't mean you failed if your breakthrough comes at 45. Everyone is on their own path, learning their own lessons, developing their own gifts, fulfilling their own purpose. Your timeline is as unique as your fingerprint. Comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20 is like comparing winter to summer and declaring one of them wrong. They're both perfect for what they're meant to accomplish. When you stop comparing and start accepting your own divine timeline, you free up enormous amounts of energy. The energy you were using to feel frustrated, inadequate, or behind becomes available for creation, for growth, for joy. You stop living in the prison of should and start living in the freedom of is. This doesn't mean you become complacent or stop setting goals. It means you hold your goals lightly, as preferences rather than demands. You work toward them with dedication but without desperation. You remain open to outcomes that are even better than what you originally wanted. You collaborate with life instead of competing with it. The most successful people, the most fulfilled people, the most peaceful people, they all understand this principle. They work hard, but they don't force. They plan carefully, but they stay flexible. They have clear intentions, but they remain unattached to specific outcomes. They know that their job is to plant and water and tend, but the growing and blooming happen according to laws beyond their control. When you align with divine timing, miracles become normal. Synchronicities become commonplace. The right people show up at the right time. The right opportunities present themselves at the perfect moment. Resources appear just when you need them. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. This is not luck. This is life operating according to its natural intelligence when you stop interfering with it. But perhaps the greatest gift of understanding divine timing is the peace it brings. The peace of knowing that you don't have to figure everything out. The peace of trusting that you're being guided even when you can't see the path clearly. The peace of accepting what is while still believing in what could be. The peace of knowing that nothing good can be delayed forever and nothing meant for you can be taken away. In this peace, you stop struggling with life and start dancing with it. You stop trying to swim upstream and start flowing with the current. You stop pushing doors that are meant to be pulled and start noticing the doors that open easily. You stop forcing conversations and start allowing authentic connections. You stop chasing people and start attracting your tribe. This is not about being passive or fatalistic. This is about recognizing that there's an intelligence operating in your life that is far superior to your conscious planning mind. This intelligence knows things you don't know, sees connections you can't see, and has access to possibilities you can't conceive. When you learn to work with this intelligence instead of against it, your life becomes an expression of grace rather than struggle. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself that this day has never existed before and will never exist again. The opportunities available to you today are perfectly suited for who you are today. The people you're meant to meet are being guided toward you. The ideas you need are trying to reach you. The solutions you're seeking are already on their way. Your only job is to show up fully, to pay attention to what's happening around you and within you, to follow your intuition, to take inspired action, and to trust that everything is working out for your highest good. When you do this consistently, you'll start to notice that your life has a magical quality to it. Things happen more easily. People are more helpful. Opportunities are more abundant. Love is more present. This is not because you've become lucky. It's because you've learned to cooperate with the laws of divine timing. You've stopped swimming against the current and started swimming with it. You've stopped trying to force the river to flow uphill and started allowing it to carry you to the ocean. The ocean of possibility is vast and infinite. The currents of divine timing know exactly how to get you there. Your job is not to navigate. Your job is to trust, to float, to enjoy the ride, and to remain open to destinations more beautiful than anything you could have planned. Right now, in this moment, everything you've ever wanted is making its way to you. The love, the abundance, the health, the creativity, the purpose, the joy. They're all en route. Some will arrive today, some tomorrow, some next year, some in ways you never expected. But they're coming because they're part of your divine inheritance. You don't earn divine timing. You don't deserve it. You don't create it. You simply are it. It's not something outside of you working on your behalf. It's the very essence of who you are expressing itself through the circumstances of your life. You are not separate from the intelligence that moves the stars and changes the seasons. You are that intelligence experiencing itself as a human being. When you realize this, when you truly get this, everything changes. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a conscious participant in creation. You stop waiting for your life to begin and start recognizing that it began the moment you took your first breath. You stop looking for completion outside yourself and start celebrating the completion that you already are. Your perfect timing is not about getting what you want when you want it. Your perfect timing is about becoming who you're meant to be through whatever experiences life brings you. Every joy shapes you, every sorrow deepens you, every triumph strengthens you, every challenge reveals more of your true nature. Every moment is perfectly designed to unveil more of your magnificence. This is the ultimate truth about divine timing. It's not about the events in your life happening at the right time. It's about recognizing that whatever is happening right now is the right time because it's what's happening. When you can fully accept this moment, when you can find the gift in whatever you're experiencing, when you can see the perfection in what appears imperfect, you transcend time altogether. You enter into the eternal now, where all possibilities exist simultaneously, where every moment is complete in itself, where you are already everything you're trying to become. This is where miracles live. This is where magic happens. This is where divine timing reveals its ultimate secret. There is no time like the present, because the present is all there is. So stop waiting. Stop preparing to live and start living. Stop getting ready for your life to begin and notice that it's been unfolding perfectly all along. Trust that every delay has been preparation. Trust that every detour has been direction. Trust that every closed door has been protection. Trust that every open door is invitation. Your time is now. Your moment is here. Your life is perfect exactly as it is, and it's getting more perfect every day. Divine timing never fails because you cannot fail. You are not an accident or a mistake or an afterthought. You are a carefully crafted masterpiece, revealing your beauty in perfect timing, one precious moment at a time. There's something profound that happens when you truly surrender to the rhythm of divine timing. You begin to notice that life has seasons just like nature does. There are times for planting, times for growing, times for harvesting, and times for rest. Each season serves its purpose, and trying to harvest in winter or plant in autumn only creates frustration and failure. Your life follows these same natural cycles, and learning to honor them transforms your entire experience. When you're in a planting season, you might feel like nothing is happening. You're putting in effort, sowing seeds of intention, doing the work, but you can't see immediate results. This is when doubt creeps in, when you start questioning whether you're on the right path, whether your efforts matter, whether anything will ever come of your dreams. But the farmer doesn't dig up seeds the day after planting to check if they're growing. The farmer trusts the process, waters consistently, and waits for the right season to see the fruits of their labor. Your growing seasons might feel slow and invisible too. Things are happening beneath the surface that you can't see. Your character is developing, your skills are sharpening, your network is expanding, your understanding is deepening. But because it's not dramatic or immediately visible, you might think you're stagnating. You're not. You're building the foundation for everything that's coming. The strongest buildings have the deepest foundations, and the most successful lives have the longest preparation periods. Then come the harvesting seasons, when everything seems to happen at once. The job offers come simultaneously, multiple relationships bloom, creative projects bear fruit, money flows more freely, health improves dramatically. These are the times when people look at your life and think you're lucky, or that success came easily to you. They don't see the years of planting and growing that preceded this harvest. They don't understand that what looks like overnight success was actually years in the making. Even the rest seasons, the fallow periods, serve a crucial purpose. These are the times when nothing major seems to be happening. You might feel bored, restless, or concerned that you're falling behind. But just like soil needs time to regenerate its nutrients, you need time to integrate your experiences, to reflect on your journey, to realign with your deepest values. These periods of apparent inactivity are actually periods of profound preparation for your next phase of growth. Understanding these seasons helps you work with divine timing instead of against it. When you're in a planting season, you focus on sowing quality seeds without obsessing over immediate results. When you're in a growing season, you practice patience and consistency without demanding visible progress every day. When you're in a harvesting season, you receive gratefully without guilt or fear that it won't last. When you're in a rest season, you use the time for reflection and renewal without panic about productivity. The key insight is that you can't force one season to become another. You can't make winter become spring through sheer willpower. You can't rush the ripening of fruit or accelerate the germination of seeds, but you can align yourself with the season you're in and make the most of its unique gifts and opportunities. Most people resist their current season. They want to be harvesting when they should be planting. They want to be resting when they should be growing. They want results without process, fruit without roots, success without preparation. This resistance creates suffering because it puts you at odds with the natural flow of your life. When you stop resisting and start flowing with your seasons, you begin to see that each one is perfect for what it's meant to accomplish. The challenging times are preparing you for the abundant times. The quiet times are restoring you for the busy times. The learning times are equipping you for the leading times. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is meaningless. Every season serves your ultimate flourishing. There's also something beautiful that happens when you realize that different areas of your life can be in different seasons simultaneously. While your career might be in a growing season, your relationships might be in full harvest. While your health might be in a restoration season, your creativity might be in an explosive planting season. This understanding helps you avoid the mistake of thinking your entire life should be moving at the same pace in the same direction. The seasonal awareness also teaches you compassion for others who might be in different seasons than you are. The friend who seems to be struggling isn't necessarily doing anything wrong. They might just be in winter while you're in spring. The colleague who appears to have everything together isn't necessarily better than you. They might just be in harvest while you're in planting. Everyone is exactly where they need to be in their own unique cycle of growth and development. But here's what makes divine timing truly miraculous. It doesn't just coordinate the events in your individual life. It orchestrates the intersection of your life with others in ways that create magic. The person you need to meet shows up exactly when you're both ready for what you have to offer each other. The mentor appears when the student is prepared. The opportunity arrives when you have the skills and wisdom to handle it properly. These divine intersections are happening constantly, but most people miss them because they're too focused on their own agenda, too busy pushing their own timeline, too distracted by their own drama to notice the gifts that are being offered. When you slow down, when you become present, when you start paying attention to the subtle currents of life, you begin to see these miraculous orchestrations everywhere. The stranger who sits next to you on the plane and mentions exactly the resource you need for your project, the book that falls into your hands just when you're grappling with the exact problem it addresses, the phone call that comes at the precise moment when you need to hear that particular message, the delay that puts you in the right place at the right time to meet someone who changes your life. These are not accidents. These are examples of divine timing orchestrating perfect synchronicities. But synchronicities don't just happen to you. You participate in creating them. When you're aligned with your purpose, when you're following your authentic path, when you're operating from love rather than fear, you become a magnet for meaningful coincidences. Your energy signature changes, and you attract experiences and people that match your new frequency. This is why personal transformation is so closely linked to divine timing. As you grow, as you heal, as you become more authentic, you literally change the timing of what shows up in your life. The opportunities that were always theoretically available become actually accessible. The relationships that were always possible become real. The abundance that was always your birthright becomes your lived experience. The ultimate realization about divine timing is that you are not separate from it. You are not a victim of it or even a beneficiary of it. You are an expression of it. The same intelligence that orchestrates the movement of planets, the changing of seasons, the beating of your heart, and the healing of your wounds is the intelligence that you are. When you recognize this, when you really get this, you stop trying to manipulate divine timing and start embodying it. You become a conscious participant in the grand symphony of existence. Your life becomes a note in the larger song that the universe is singing. Your timing becomes perfectly synchronized with the cosmic rhythm because you are that rhythm expressing itself as you. This is not a metaphor or a pretty idea. This is the literal truth of your being. And in this moment, right now, as you hear these words, as you feel your heart beating, as you breathe in the gift of life, know that everything is exactly as it should be. You are exactly where you need to be. You are exactly who you need to be. And everything you need is already on its way to you, arriving in perfect divine timing that never fails, never disappoints, and never stops working miracles in your magnificent life